Eskom still struggling to recover money owed to it by municipalities. The Tshwane Metro is now switching off the lights of all those who are not paying their bills. The defaulters, including government departments in the capital and foreign missions, who collectively owe, wait for it, more than 1 billion rand. eNCA's Barry Bateman is in Tshwane, the capital, and joining us now live with that story. Barry, very good afternoon to you. The city now embarking on quite an aggressive campaign. Why now?
Yeah, good afternoon, Dan. You just touched on it there. I mean, times are tough, and it's not just for you and I as consumers. The city of Tshwane, they make the point that they have to pay for their services up front for the utilities. So they have to pay Eskom and Rand Water up front, and they then sell it on to the consumers. Well, when the consumers are using it but not paying it back, the city starts having a bit of a financial trouble, the cash flow issue. The city's already cash-strapped as it is. We saw that statement just a couple of weeks ago from Eskom saying that is a significant amount of money that is owed. Well, this is what we're seeing now, efforts to try and recover those funds. I can just tell you, we were earlier today outside the Sheraton Hotel. They owed over 20 million rand. Their electricity was cut. There were other teams moving around the city of Tshwane. I've seen the Navy headquarters. They've been cut. The Department of Basic Education and Training, or Higher Education and Training, sorry, they have been cut. So nobody is being spared here, Dan. And, you know, I was with the mayor earlier, Randall Abrams, and I asked him about this campaign. What is the purpose and why are we going about it now? Take a listen.
Are obligated in terms of the municipal legislation to recover money due to the city. It's not something we can do voluntarily. We've got an obligation to do it. So we have been doing it for some time, but what we're doing now, we're escalating it to turn it into operations, become more visibly active so that people can see. And if you look at our debtors book now, it has ballooned to over 17 billion rands, and it's not sustainable. Businesses in the city owe us more than 5 billion rands. Residents more than 8 billion rands. And if you look at government departments and embassies and so forth, they owe us more than 1.3 billion rands. So we're going after all our debtors because they have an obligation to pay. You cannot consume for free. You have an obligation towards the city. How do we run the operations? How do we afford to run the operations of the city if we have no revenue due to the city?
Well, Barry, many businesses, of course, have also suffered immensely because of the lockdown measures that government had to impose due to the pandemic. Is the city sympathetic to their plight?
To a degree, Dan. So what Mayor Randall Williams was telling me is that while they agree that, yes, times were tough, there are mechanisms in place for businesses who are struggling financially, or even consumers, to make arrangements with the city to pay off a debt. What we're seeing here, and the question that I was asking is, well, what is the criteria? First off, the places that are being cut today, it's not a surprise to them. There have been numerous letters and correspondence between these debtors and the city till they get to a point of where they're actually issued with a notice that you're now going to be cut. So it didn't come as a surprise. And what the city is saying is that these consumers have left it all the way into this point and they have not made any efforts to try and reach out to come to some or other payment plan with the city. So I spoke to the mayor about that and he had this to say.
We can try and be easy if the city itself is in good financial standing. But the city is in a financial crisis. We need to get all the revenue in. You can see service delivery is falling. We've got less money available to fix street lights, less money available to fix potholes. This needs to change. And if you look at what's been happening all over the world, businesses have adapted. South African businesses will also have to adapt according to the business circumstances. They cannot now say, because there's COVID-19, sorry, for us it's business as usual, the city must just subsidize us. It cannot work that way.